I had lost everything. Left with the weight of people's judgment bearing down on my heart.
Had more of an abstract narrative to it. We have this young man grappling with his identity, and this is represented by all these mirrors around him. He's also hearing sounds of clinking glass and different sounds in this film reminiscent of a mirror. He's losing his identity. He's redefining it. He's coming out of the closet. The narration in this film is really powerful as he's grappling with himself and trying to figure out who he wants to be in the world. And eventually, once he comes to terms with himself and discovers who he truly is, he sees the mirror and he sees his full reflection. He talks about the world becoming a reflection of what's inside him as he's coming out to his parents. And he talks about that being a devastating experience, but also an empowering one. But yeah, I really enjoyed this film. I love the abstract nature of it. I loved the likening of his identity to all these mirrors and the brokenness that he finds there and putting himself back together just like you would a broken mirror. I loved all of the analogies there and the symbolism. I thought the acting was really well done, even though there was no on-screen dialogue. He did really well with that narration and the acting involved as well. So yeah, I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was really well done, really well acted. And it really embodied that feeling of identity crisis.
It was trippy in the most intriguing way. Like, you watch it and you're like trying to figure out what's going on, what's the point of this until the end with the coming out to my parents, this, that, and the third. That's how you do like a, what you call ambiguous intrigue, because you still got to give us something at the end. And I think coming out to my parents was the perfect boom. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. The cinematography, stellar, perfection, beautiful, show-stopping, awe-inspiring cinematography. And also the sound design, not to be under appreciated. The sound design, because I think especially with minimal dialogue like this, sound design got it. Especially when you're trying to create the feeling that you were trying to create here. Like the cinematography is going to do a lot, but it's only going to do so much. And I think the sound design is going to add everything else. And I think that's what they did here. And I think it was great.
They had a good sort of meditative and self-reflective approach that obviously reflected the themes around mirrors. I thought they had a good approach to light and dark that I thought was good to sort of reflect the inner turmoil of our central subject. And I thought the piece sort of had a good sense of rhythm building up to the closing moment with the actual special effect of the, excuse me, of the mirror. And I thought it had a good sort of sense of self-awareness that allowed the piece to be sort of a personal narrative, also having sort of universal concepts.
It's kind of like a good and interesting way of like explore like the sexuality, explore like themselves, their identity, like in this way as a short film. And it's well shot too, because like when you kind of like picking up like the subject of alternate reality, like it got to have done like good with visuals, with cinematography, which the filmmakers know it in this short. So it's like a good short for you to kind of like, get deep, like feeling it, and kind of like go along with like the narrative that the subject, the narrator tried to bring us to.